Okay, Christina here to listen to some music. And today's music selection is Black Dog by Led Zeppelin. This is the third Led Zeppelin reaction here on the channel. The first two were Whole Lotta Love and Since I've Been Loving You. And where are Kashmir and Stairway to Heaven, you ask? I've heard those songs before, not extensively, but enough that I know how they go and, I've heard them. So I could take a deep dive into them or maybe listen to them live. But for now, that's one thing that's sort of guiding my Led Zeppelin journey here. That's why we're doing this in the order that we are. So what do I think of Led Zeppelin so far? I'm really beginning to appreciate the mastery of at least Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. I still don't know the two Johns very well, but I'm listening and I'm sure I'll be appreciating them just as much very soon. I just need a little bit more time. Plus, there's a lot to take in with this group. There's just always something new to observe, including very creative special effects, how they use the instruments, how they put it all together, and my ear is trained to hear the instrumentation. So I gotta tell you, I've had to do a lot of listening and guesswork as to what in the world I am hearing, some of the instruments that they are using and how they use them. It's so clever. Speaking of, I've heard all of these things mentioned in the comments about possibly being used in what I've heard so far. So we have a violin bow, a cello bow, and a theremin. But you might ask, what exactly is the difference between a cello bow and a violin bow? So you might be able to tell that the violin bow is a little bit smaller and a different shape than the cello bow. And in general, the cello bow weighs a lot more because the instrument, the cello, is a much bigger instrument than the violin, and so it needs a little bit more weight to get the strings to really vibrate and activate and make a clean sound. So the violin bow is actually just a little tiny bit longer, but it doesn't weigh as much. And you really need that because the violin is here and the bow sits on top, and so we have to be lifting up vertically. Whereas with the cello bow, it's in front of you and you sort of lift it away from the strings horizontally. So obviously I know a lot about string instruments and the two bows. This, however, was a gift given to me recently, just a few months ago, and I'm still getting to know how it works. This is a really basic model. You plug the amp in here and, you do certain things and it just kind of works its magic. So I'm still getting to know it, but it's a fascinating instrument, and so I had to allow it to be a guest on the video here. So when and how are those instruments and instrument accessories used in Led Zeppelin's music? There's been a lot of debate about it in the comments. Some people are like, oh yeah, this is a theremin here, or oh yeah, that's a violin bow, or oh yeah, that's the cello bow. I'm still doing research as to what sounds are happening and when, but for now, I can't wait to dig in to this next song. So be sure to do all the things. The channel is still brand new. Like and subscribe. You can find me on Patreon, on Ko-fi. You can make direct requests, become a channel member. Lots of ways to support the channel. Things are going really well. We've got a live stream coming up, and we're really building a really great music community here. Have a lot of fun. So, enough talking. Let's listen. Okay, let's see what we're in for.
I can't keep away. Got a flaming heart, can't get my fill. I shine
Okay, I gotta say, I'm noticing a whole bunch more stuff, especially I saw some glimpses of the drums, and wow, the rhythm of this song. Wow. Like, I can barely tap to the rhythm because it's so complex, which means I feel really a lot more engaged because nothing is dependable. It can take a turn at any second. Okay, the main motif, that is so catchy and it's still really complex. Like it's a melody that you feel more than you hear. And it is kind of familiar. I probably have heard this song in the past, but I never stopped to go back and listen to it or whatever. So there is something familiar about it. But because I'm learning so much more about these musicians, I am so engaged with this listen. I haven't completely caught on to the lyrics yet. I'm mainly just hearing the music, but we'll get there.
What people mean by down and down. Spent my money, I took my car, started telling her friends she's gonna be a star. Big leg woman ain't got no soul. Steady rolling woman gonna come my way. I need a girl to hold my hand. Won't tell me no lies, make me a happy man.
Okay. Wow. So I'm still not quite sure what the song is about at this point. I'm gonna have to look up the lyrics. But I'm not sure if that's supposed to be what shines in this song. I think it's supposed to be the musicianship that is the shining star. And boy, was there some musicianship. Wow. So I loved, first of all, the form, the call and answer. So the vocals and then the instrumental. And then Robert Plant also played with that with the audience. And what fun it would have been to be there. So I'm assuming that melody with the audience was, And if that is the case, then I think I know why this song sounds familiar to me. Back in the day, they had infomercials. Before the internet, they would have commercials on TV for compilations of certain kinds of music. And it could be the best of one certain band or a collection of a whole bunch of different artists in one big collection of like easy listening or classic rock or whatever. And I remember there being an infomercial for Led Zeppelin. And I didn't know this band. I didn't have a way to listen to this band other than this infomercial. And I think it was on a lot. And in the infomercial, they would play little tiny snippets of all of the songs that are on this greatest hits album that they were trying to sell. You know, you call the 1-800 number and 4 easy installments payments of $19.99, you can get this whole package of greatest hits. I remember not knowing any of these songs, but you know how commercial jingles get stuck in your head? I remember hearing that infomercial and having no clue what any of those songs were. But then I kind of got used to the infomercial after a while, and I actually started looking forward to the little 10-second, like 5 to 10-second snippets that they had. And I think that was in one of those, and maybe even a hint of that da 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 da, you know, that catchy motif that comes back. I think maybe that had to, because it's in my brain somewhere. When I heard it, I was like, wait a minute. But I distinctly remember as a little kid humming along with the little snippets in this infomercial. So I guess I was an infomercial Led Zeppelin fan until now. But hey, however you get there. All right, back to the musicianship here, because that really is something special. The call and answer. I still love how Robert Plant uses his voice more as an instrument than just a voice. And again, so much so here that the lyrics kind of were mostly lost to me. And I still completely enjoyed the song just as much, even though I didn't catch on to those lyrics. But that's because the music was so amazing. And then we got a couple of those screams in there that he does, you know, the high, so good, so good. And you see his amazingly beautiful hair. And I love how comfortable he is when he steps away and hands it off to his bandmates. You know, it's not all about the vocalist. I love how comfortable he is on stage when he's not singing. So then I definitely got to hear more of the bass, and I definitely got to hear more of the drums. Now, did I hear them in the other songs? Sure, but I was so focused on Plant and Page that I didn't pay attention to the Johns. So I am working to do that, and I didn't have to work very hard because there they were. It was fabulous. So I love that riff that happens with the bass and the guitar and how they were just together and how the drum completely was the glue that held it all together. So steady. They are just such a well-oiled machine. And then at one point hearing the bass with the guitar doing the little harmony over the top. That was really neat. I wonder if I can go back and find an example. Okay, so here they are together. They're in unison, the bass and the guitar.
I've been told a big leg woman ain't got no soul.
And I love that key change right there. And it's just there for just a brief second. Love it. You hear the hi-hat. Woo! Okay. And so then the harmony. Love it.
Tell me no lies, make me a happy man.
Okay, so you hear the bass playing the original riff, and then the guitar is up there with it. I love that. That guitar solo at the end. Wow. So I recently reacted to some Pink Floyd and some Dire Straits on this channel. Mark Knopfler and David Gilmour, they both really sing on their instruments. I really like how Page, that he also can sing with that guitar, but then he just sort of goes into this frenzy. It's not just muddy, like notes just everywhere. It's more intentional, but at the same time, it still harkens back to improv. And I think someone who can find that delicate balance between intentional and improv is genius. And again, Robert Plant just stands back and lets them have their fun. It started to remind me of the same feeling that I get on stage when I'm performing with an orchestra and we have a guest artist playing a concerto with us accompanying them. One compositional trait to a concerto, where that means just one person playing a solo and the orchestra accompanying them, is what we call a cadenza. So what that means is there is a place in the piece of music, and it's usually like 2/3 of the way or 3/4 of the way, or even just maybe 8 bars from the end, where it's just the soloist and everybody else just kind of hangs out. We sit there. Sometimes if the cadenza is long enough, we even sit there and get to rest our arms for a second and just get to sit back and relax. And sometimes the soloist is just so virtuosic and spectacular that all of us wish we could just clap for them right then and there, but we have to get our instruments back up to finish the rest of the piece. But sometimes we get swept away also, and we're just kind of watching like, wow. And then we're like, whoop, time to play again. You have to be careful. I felt like I was getting swept away like that a little bit at the end of this song with Jimmy Page's playing, with all of them, but especially that guitar solo where I was just like, wow, really swept away. So very quickly, I just want to look up the lyrics just so that I know that I'm not missing out on too much. Hey, hey, mama said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Okay, but wait. Uh-oh. So they were having fun. He really liked her, but then spent my money, took my car. Yikes. Ain't got no soul, huh? Okay. Aw, need a woman gonna hold my hand, but tell me no lies and make me a happy man. Okay. Wow. So yeah, he's singing the blues. Okay, and so I just looked up the title of the song, because I'm like, okay, wait, what? How did... Something has popped up saying that they just named it after a Labrador Retriever that was wandering around the recording studio, and that there's actually like no meaning or symbolism within the song itself. And I think that is brilliant. I love it. I can totally see that happening. And it makes me feel like I'm there in the studio with them. Hey, here's this riff. Hey, here's this song. Ooh, let's play with this. Let's do this. And what are we going to call it? Oh, look, there's a doggy. Okay. See, I'm liking this band more and more every day. And they're dog lovers too. Bonus. Okay. So we have Led Zeppelin reaction number 3. And I am not disappointed. That was really fun. I am very much looking forward to more. So please leave suggestions. We'll have some polls, narrow things down. And yes, I will be sort of going back and forth between live and studio recordings, but we'll try to strike a really good balance. But thanks for joining me. Do all the things, support the channel, vote in the polls, help me figure out what's next. And as always, just remember to be okay and keep listening.